Oh yeah. Check this boy out. Alright, let's talk about this real quick. I switched to this wheel. This was the original wheel. You can see, I don't know if you can see the size difference. This is significantly smaller. The reason why is because the Sim is a lot of muscle memory. So the wheel in my Z is a 13-inch wheel, I believe. I think it's around 13 inches in diameter. This is like 12.9 or 12 or something like that in diameter. So this is a little bit closer to what I'm actually driving with. I've tried like actual car wheels, like the wheel that goes to my Z, a wheel like that. And I just don't like the way it feels. And then with this, I can keep all of my buttons, my paddle shifters. So, because I do other things other than sim drift. I do have fun on the racing simulator. It is a lot of fun. But I switched to this mainly for muscle memory. Because now the wheels are going to have a lot slower rotation. That little wheel would spin way faster than this, obviously. So it's going to take a little bit getting used to driving with this. But again, it shouldn't take too long. It should be fine. And so let's hop over to the sim. I'll go ahead and get fired up, and then we'll talk, is this real or is it just a game? Alright, we're in the sim. I think that window being open is kind of messing with the quality of the video. That light, that daylight's coming in, it's making the camera look weird. So you might have to bear with me for a minute. I'll go ahead and put this on, and I'll get the sim fired up, and we'll roll into it. I know a little bit about drifting. I drift in real life. I am in my first season, so I'm not a professional drifter. I'm not even claiming to be a good drifter. But I do drift, and I'll stick a clip in here for proof. Drift in real life successfully. I go to an event, I can drift all day long and have tons of fun. So I do know what it takes to drift a car and to drift with people. So taking that knowledge, because I learned to drift in real life before I had the sim. So I didn't learn on the sim. So I have brought stuff from real life into the game, and we'll get through kind of my opinions, what I think, what the difference is, what the similarities are. And basically my goal with this video is basically just to put out like good information that this is a valuable tool. The sim is very, very valuable for practice. Alright guys, so I did a couple warm-up laps. I'm back in the groove. It's just like I never left. One of the great things about the sim is you stay spry on driving. Just real quick, my opinions are going to be based on the equipment that I have. Obviously, there's better equipment. Obviously, there's a lot worse equipment. So this is really equipment based because there's a lot of problems with some of the cheaper wheels and some of the stuff that's not really like simulator parts. They make them for like consoles and stuff like that. But this is designed. It's a direct drive wheelbase, the Moza. It's designed for sim racing. So this is not the top of the line, but it's definitely not the cheapest stuff out there. This is pretty, I would say, middle, intermediate on equipment. So Moza has a full software here where you can mess. I don't know if you can, how well you guys can see this on the screen, but you can mess with your force feedback and how this steering wheel feels. I have spent several hours adjusting my ABS vibrations and my body bumps and this graph right here. I don't know if you can see this, but it's like a ramp up, ramp down. There's a curve on how strong it gets. It's a straight up linear curve. I've basically set this wheel up to feel like my Z. So when this steering wheel in counter steer and transition, this feels as close to real life as possible. And obviously that's taken some time and my own feel, my own personal opinion of what it feels like. So this part, the steering part, how this feels here, the transitions here, the wheel spin, this here is 100% identical to how it feels in real life. This is one-to-one what my Z feels like. Obviously, we're not playing a game right now or anything, so you can just spin it around. But I'm just telling you that it is definitely a lot of equipment has to do with how sim racing feels. I'm very pro sim racing, so this right here, similarity, one-to-one. You cannot replace this. I think this is great. Pedals, not so real. Change camera position because I think the lighting's a little bit better over here. I could just close that window, but then it'd be super dark and it'd look just as dingy. But it'd be all right. You just have to bear with me on the camera quality. So we talked about the steering. Steering is, in my opinion, with these settings, one-to-one to real life. Handbrake, a little iffy. Again, this thing's equipment based. You can buy different springs, different, pistons that make that feel a little more stiff or loose. I'm not really worried about how the handbrake feels. Same with the shifter. The shifter feels pretty good. It has some clunks, and it locks in place and stuff, so it feels good. Again, this is Moza specific, so it's really equipment based when you're talking like this. But I think the mindset here is to keep your eye trained, keep your muscle memory, and keep your timing. Drifting is a lot about timing and a lot about where the car is. So pedals, again, they don't feel that well, but there is other equipment out there with there's all kinds of different compression deals you can put in these pedals to make them stiffer, looser, whatever you want. I haven't got that far. I don't know if I will get that far because that to me is a little bit overkill. I think this is the biggest thing here is I think if your steering feels right, you'll be fine. So I mounted everything kind of how my Z is. My shifter's here. My handbrake is just to the left of the shifter, and it's in between the steering wheel and the shifter. So this is kind of how my Z looks in a sense. So my hand movements will relatively be the same. It's just all repetition. So this is, again, great practice. I mean, this is just, I've learned things here and I've implemented them in real life. And there's things that I do on here that I don't do in real life. And that's one of the negative things of the sim racing is that, like, there's no risk involved. You wreck on here, whatever, you just hit the reset button. Obviously, if you wreck in real life and you hit somebody in real life, completely different story. So that's like one of the drawbacks to the simulator is, like, you do things a little more gutsy, a little more ballsy, and like you can pull things off that you could probably pull off in real life, but is it worth the risk? So, kind of like this isn't gonna be like a real organized pros and cons video. It's gonna be me just randomly rambling about like how this is great. So again, pedals, handbrake, shifter, that stuff can all be changed out to be more feel real, but I think that is kind of irrelevant to what we're doing here. The steering, I think, is what you need to really focus on. The biggest thing about this simulator, the biggest drawback, is you don't know what level of grip the car has. In real life, you can feel the weight of the car. You can feel if the car is sliding, if it's gripping. You can feel what the car is doing. On the simulator, obviously, you cannot feel any G-force. You cannot feel any weight transfer. And that is a negative drawback because you're relying on your eyes and track position. So you're relying on where you're looking at on the track. And things work just like they do in real life. Like if you need to angle up, you can use the foot brake. You can do a brake jab, and you can angle the car up. I do a lot of left foot braking on here. I do way more left foot braking on here than I do in real life. I also drift way closer to people on here than I do in real life. Again, I'm going to have to go through this video and kind of cut and splice things because it's not real organized. I kind of just want to spread the knowledge that if you're a driver and you want to keep driving and you want to keep progressing, you need one of these at your house. You need one of these. I've downloaded tracks that I've never been to, and I drove them. And when I got to them in real life, I was able to do laps at this track first try because I've already been there. I've already seen it. I already kind of know a good base map of what I have to do to get around that course. So that's another big benefit is you can drive these things before you get there. Alright guys, so we've talked about the steering, how important the steering is. Again, this is all based on my opinion. But what I do in real life, I have to do on here to cause the car to drift, to follow somebody, to effectively do things. Obviously, at the end of the day, this is a game. It's an older game. It's Assetto Corsa, if you guys don't know. So there is things that aren't totally real. But again, it's muscle memory. It's repetition. It's like can classify as going to the shooting range. You're shooting a gun, but you're not in a firefight. Like it's military training. Like yeah, you're training, but you're not really in a gunfight. You're not really at war. So you may get caught up in it and feel like you are. I've been in several 5-6 car tandem trains, and everybody held drifts for laps. I mean, my arms were getting tired from steering so much. So again, it's very, very, very good practice. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and just hop in a lobby and see what we can get into real quick, just so you guys can kind of get a feel for what's going on, what I have to do. Obviously I can't put up a foot cam. I can, and I have before, but today I don't have really the ability to do it. So I'm going to try to place the camera kind of up behind, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to kind of put it up over here, pointing down. So you guys can kind of see the 3 screens and kind of see what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to go here. Make sure I'm going to probably drop this gear. No, you know what? I'll leave it at 3.9. It's a pretty short track. Make sure force feedback is good. Alright. So hopefully you guys can still hear me and the sound of the cars isn't too obnoxious. But I mean, as you can tell, like the steering inputs are great. Like I'm in the grass, steering wheel's vibrating a little bit. The shifter and pedal stuff, just like real life. So I'm gonna go here and hit this warm-up box and warm up the tires real quick. Oh, this guy just blasted me. What is wrong with you? Why do you want to do that for? Oh, he about blasted me too. Yeah, just get the tires real nice and hot. Okay. So it usually gets a little chaotic because people are like super crazy online sometimes. So we'll see what we can get into here real quick. See, like, nice e-brake entry, nice e-brake pull, and a little bit of a foot brake right there, kind of hold the car back. Same way with here in transition, clutching a little bit. This guy's gonna spin out. Oh, come on, man, hit your pit button, dude. But I mean, so just like in real life, you know, you modulate your throttle. Your steering inputs are going with your throttle, how much throttle you're giving it, how fast the car is. Again, it's relatively easy because of the no G-force. Oh, that's not messed up right there. But trying to talk into this is a little difficult because I'm trying to pay attention where I'm at. But I mean, I can drift like one-handed because there's like no G-force, there's no transition weight. But the same rules apply. You know, if you have to steer in for more angle, then you steer in for more angle. If you need more speed, obviously just use the throttle. You know, foot brake works great. Same concept on transition here, kind of mangy, and then foot brake, anti-brake, slow it up a little bit. You know, clutch in, gas, clutch out, just like real life. You know, you gotta dump the clutch sometimes, get them RPMs up, keep that turbo spooled up. You know, an e-brake correction, you need to angle up some more, whatever you gotta do. But it's really hard to explain without somebody doing it or really know about drifting, so I feel like I'm kind of just rambling. But let's see if I can get up on this guy here, if he can hold a decent line. Up a little bit. I had a chance to pull up to his door there, but I kind of got a little aggressive. I'll catch him right here. I'll cut him off. Oh, he went super shallow. Oh, that's what it was. He wanted me to lead. That's another thing that's kind of annoying on this game is like nobody ever wants to lead. Like I don't mind leading in real life because it's just like, I don't know, but nobody ever wants to lead on here. We lost him, I think. I'll pull over here and try to catch. Alright guys, I think I'm wrapping up the video. As you can see, man, this stuff is fun, and it just kind of like, it just keeps you trained, keep you spry. You can see there's a couple times the guy, like the car in front of the car I'm following, spins out, and you can kind of see all the corrections, and everybody's trying to get around him, you know, just like you would in real life. So man, this thing is awesome, and it's very good practice. And I know this video is kind of jumbled and just thrown together, but I'm trying to get an upload out just because it's been so long since I've uploaded. I really, like, 2023 was the first year I did YouTube, and I told myself I'm gonna get a couple uploads out per month, and I don't think I got anything out in November, so I'm just trying to get uploads out. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. It gives me more motivation to keep making these, and I want to keep trying to get better at making videos. Like, again, this is kind of weird. We'll see you guys on next.